Jungkook is your overprotective friend. Mei and Chloe are your girl best friends. Jimin has a thing for Mei. He invited you guys to his house for a party. A detailed video of Jungkook being protective over you is pinned in the comment section below. Please take a look. Wyan's point of view. We rang the doorbell and waited. The door swung open to reveal a jolly looking Jimin beaming down at us. Excellent, you girls made it. Now if you want to enter, you must whisper the secret password, he whispered dramatically. The password is, Jimin is smoking hot. He winked with a toothy grin. Before I had time to wrap my head around the stupidity of what he had just asked us to do, Mei had already proceeded to kick him in his shine. Jimin groaned in pain. That's not the password. The party was already in full swing. Chloe and Mei wasted no time in abandoning me, running off somewhere to go flirt with some of the annoying football guys. I decided to get myself a glass of water to drink, so I headed for where I assumed the kitchen was. As I walked over, I couldn't help but notice the way some of the guys were staring at me. I groaned and pulled the hem of the dress down further, but it just frustratingly rolled up again to the same damn place. I should have never agreed to wear this dress. Once I was in the kitchen, I instantly spotted Jungkook. He made a weird choking sound and his eyes immediately reverted back to mine, doing a double take. His neck turned so sharply, there was a good chance he might have broken his neck. He wanted to say something, but no words came out. He visibly gulped as his eyes took the time to roam through over every inch of my body, his gaze lingering in particularly on my friend. God, this was humiliating. With a much confidence, I quickly snatched a bottle of water. I was ready to get out of here when I heard a loud woof whistle as a guy glued his eyes shamelessly to my back. Look at the back of that one, the idiot said as he rudely gestured to where I was standing. Who the hell says that about someone when they are still there? At least have the decency to say it's after I have left the room. The glazed look in Jungkook's eyes vanished in a second, replaced instead with unmistakable rage. What did you just say, Johnson? Hey, Jungkook, be cool. He doesn't know who she is. He's new, a second guy piped up quickly as he tried to push Jungkook away a little. You're off the hook this time because you're new. But if I hear one more word about my girl from that little mouth of yours, you better run. I almost choked down my own spit from the shock of his words. Sorry, your girl? Did you recently adopt me or something? Jungkook turned around to face me and shook his head in disappointment before storming his way over to me. He took his soccer jacket off, quickly wrapping it around my shoulders. He worked quickly to button up a few holes of the jacket while I just stood frozen, feeling too confused to even speak. As soon as we were out of the kitchen, he pushed me up against the wall. He was so close that I was instantly hit with the sharp smell of his cologne. Why, Wyan? Why? Just why? He stammered out in frustration. You could have worn anything and you decided on this? Are you kidding me? His words felt like a sharp slap in the face and I felt hurt. I get that you don't like it, Jungkook, but there's no need to be so rude. Jungkook let out a harsh chuckle. There's a hell lot of things I feel about you in this dress, Wyan, and dislike is certainly not one of them. He gulped as his eyes drifted up and down my body. My heart started hammering so quickly within my chest I was surprised I couldn't hear it. Then, why are you mad? I stuttered nervously, feeling distracted by how close his face was. Because you're going to deal with guys like Johnson, who is going to make a move on you all night. Well, that's my problem, not yours. You're a good friend for trying to look out for me, but I can handle myself, okay Jungkook? Thanks for the jacket, but I'm not wearing it. I can't wear something that had your name scrawled in big bold letters across the back. People will assume things. That's why you should keep it on. If they think there's something between us, they'll keep their nasty hands and comments to themselves. Do not take it off, Wyan, he said with a fierce intensity in his eyes. You're ridiculous. As I focused back on him, I was taken aback by the amount of emotions that were swimming in his eyes. He looked almost pained. Why do you do this to me? He whispered. Do what? I stuttered out in confusion. His eyes dropped down to stare at my lips. Torture me. Before I could get another word in, he walked away. Well, that was weird. I spotted May and Chloe almost instantly and quickly made my way over to them. Thanks for ditching me. Oops, sorry. May shrugged, not looking guilty. Wait a second. What the hell are you wearing? Whose jacket is that? May said with narrowed eyes as she leaned in closer to inspect the writing. Oh my god, yes, it's Jungkook's. I knew it. May laughed. Oh, that's so cute. He's so protective over you, Chloe said as she leaned in to pinch my cheeks. Yeah, it's kinda cute, I guess, that he wants to look out for me like an overprotective older brother, I said, nodding my head in agreement. Sorry, you're overprotective what now? May said. You're too much, Ryan. Unless he's into incest, there's no way in hell that boy sees you as a sister. You guys are reading everything wrong. I know for a fact that he doesn't like me. He told me he had a crush on another girl. I yelled in frustration. And you were dumb enough to believe him? Chloe laughed. They were both being idiots. How could Jungkook like me when he spent most of his life teasing me? He literally calls me Chubs, which is probably the most unflattering nickname in the world. Nobody in their right mind would call someone they have a crush on Chubs. Hey peeps, Jimin said as he inserted himself into our little circle of discussion. Oh, for God's sake, not you again. Don't you ever disappear? May whined. Well, this is my house, May. He laughed. No, it's your parents' house. They simply just allow you to live here as their pet. Anyways, I and few others are going to play a little game upstairs. A very fun game, he chuckled lowly. He led us into a room. Most people looked a little out of it already and seemed to be in the stage of drunk where everything seemed ridiculously funny. All except one person, Jungkook. As I took a seat around the circle, his eyes immediately locked on mine and he smirked, almost as though he was promising trouble. He certainly looked more cheerful than he did a couple of minutes ago. I wonder what's got him in such a good mood. Okay, so the game I have gathered everyone around to play is 7 Minutes in Heaven, he cheered. Wait, what? I yelled out in shock. Shh, Ryan, quiet now, Jimin is speaking. However, what makes my game extra special is that you must live with evidence. This could be in the form of an innerwear, a voice recording, scratches, or whatever other things your heart desires. Okay, it was official. Jimin was 1,000 times weirder than I ever thought was possible. Jimin, I was wondering if I don't come back with evidence, like a sane person, what's going to happen? I asked curiously. Excellent question, Ryan. Anyone who doesn't comply with the rules of my game will have their eyebrows shaved off, he said with an evil chuckle. Everyone went silent as he said this, as they knew he was deadly serious. He even managed to get Jungkook one time, and God, was it funny? Teasing him about his bald forehead was honestly the best 4 months of my life. So evidence it is, I guess. This game might be a good thing, who knows? Maybe making out with some random cute guy could help eradicate these weird feelings I keep getting around Jungkook. I just need to get my frustration out and then everything would go back to normal. Okay, let's get started, shall we? Jimin spun the bottle and we all waited it to spin in anticipation. He started to hysterically laugh. Hey May, guess who gets to mess around with me for 7 whole minutes? Jimin winked. May's face went sickening white. No way, I'm not doing it. Spin again, she yelled. There are not many times I have seen May look scared, but right now her eyes seem to be drowning in complete and utter fear. She hated Jimin big time. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they opened the door after 7 minutes and Jimin's dead body rolled out. If you don't go with me, May, then it's goodbye to those pretty little eyebrows of yours. I sit right by you in history class. And guess who falls asleep every single time? You do, he whispered with a dark chuckle. You know what? Let's do this, she snapped confidently as she stood up and marched towards the cupboard. I watched them enter the cupboard with an amused smile on my face very curious to see what would manifest from such a weird coupling. Once the timer went off, one of the saucer guys got up to knock on the door. "Time's up, guys, you have 7 seconds. I expected May to come running out almost immediately, assuming she wouldn't want to have to spend a second longer in there with him. But they didn't. They took their dear sweet time. Finally, the door opened and I couldn't believe my eyes. Both of them had incredibly ruffled up hair and had matching swollen lips. I widened my eyes in utter shock as I noticed May's top was now inside out, and that wasn't even the weirdest part. The weirdest part was that Jimin holding her innerwear proudly in his hands. My jaw dropped open in shock. Jimin looked happier than I have ever seen him. It was what I would imagine someone to look like after they have won the lottery. May sat down on the floor beside us without saying a word. "What the hell happened in that closet?" I laughed. "Don't make me repeat it. You know what happened," she mumbled as her face grew an even darker shade of red than I thought humanly possible. Before I had time to interrogate her further, Jimin shot a wink at me before spinning the bottle. I was praying to every god I could think of for it not to land on me. Finally, it did stop. It stopped on me and Jungkook. His face stretched out into a wide grin. "Wyan," he smiled. "This had to be a mistake. It just had to. Reality wouldn't be cruel enough to lock me in a cupboard, along with Jungkook." I looked up at Jungkook with a gulp. "So, 7 minutes, huh?" I mumbled. His smile widened even further. "That's right, 7 wonderful minutes," he repeated as he held his hand out for me. With shaky, nervous hands, I put my hand in his and let him drag me to my feet. He led me over to the closet and opened the door. "After you, chaps," Jungkook smirked. "Remember, no evidence, no eyebrows," Jimin called out with a laugh. I jumped in surprise as I heard the door slam loudly behind me. "Wow, someone is feeling jumpy," Jungkook teased as I turned around to face him. "Can you blame me? I'm stuck inside here with a weirdo," I snapped. "Well, ouch. Tell me how you really feel," Jungkook laughed. His laughter just pissed me off even further. "Why the hell do you look all relaxed for?" "I hate to break it to you, Jungkook, but you didn't look so hot when both your eyebrows were missing." "He's not gonna shave your eyebrows off, Wyan. He's just messing with you," Jungkook said as he rolled his eyes. "You promise me?" "Well, I don't know that for sure, but it doesn't matter either way, 'cause we are gonna get evidence," he stated confidently. "Wait a second, maybe we could fake the evidence or something," I said as my eyes lit up in excitement. Fake the evidence?" he questioned. "Yeah, you know, we could ruffle up our hair a little or something." "Chubbs, Jimin isn't as stupid as he looks. He'll want stronger evidence than that." "Well, I guess I'm just screwed then. Who needs eyebrows anyways?" "Relax, I have got an idea," he smirked. I watched with widened eyes as he started to corner in on me, his eyes alight with a strange, troublesome spark. He slowly pushed me so my back was up against the wall. He smiled down at me as he completely diminished any space between our bodies. "Am I making you nervous?" he whispered with a teasing smirk on his face. "No," I lied. He just let out a low chuckle before brushing a stray of hair behind my ear. The small action caused my heart to flutter. What are you doing? Do you trust me?" he whispered. I found myself nodding my head. "Then just relax." I gasped in surprise as I felt the warmth of his lips press against my neck. He placed long, mind-numbing kisses down my neck as he pulled me closer to him. "Jungkook," I mumbled, breathing, not sure if I was trying to ask him to stop or continue. "Just tell me to stop and I will." He moved my jacket out of the way so he could gain more access. And before I could stop it, a soft groan escaped from my mouth. I didn't say a word and just slowly closed my eyes in embarrassment. I felt him smiling against my skin. "Glad to hear you're enjoying it," he whispered. That's when we heard a knock on the door. "Fun's up, guys. You have 7 seconds." I pushed him away from me abruptly. "God, what is wrong with me? Why did I let him do that?" Jungkook groaned in irritation. 7 minutes a little bit too short if you ask me. I just rolled my eyes before a horrifying thought crossed my mind, causing me to completely freeze in place. Oh no, we have got nothing, Jungkook. We have got zero evidence, I cried. Oh, you're such an idiot. Why the hell did you distract me for? I yelled as I pushed on his chest in anger. Jungkook looked alarmed for a second before his face quickly contored to one in amusement. I wouldn't worry about that, chaps, he said with a chuckle as he pushed me in the direction of the door and opened it for me. But what are you talking about? As soon as we entered the well-lit room, I was immediately silenced, for everyone was looking at me, or rather a certain part of me, rather closely. Jimin stood up and walked over to us, an impressed look on his face. Wow, that's quite a mark you have got there, Ryan. Nice to see you guys have fun. Jimin winked. I grabbed my neck instinctively and snapped my head towards Jungkook at a frighteningly sharp speed. You gave me a mark? I yelled as I fired him the most hateful glare I could muster. Well, it's a part of the game, Jungkook shrugged. And besides, maybe it will inspire some of the perverts at the party to back the hell away from you. You're marked as mine now. He winked as he admired the spot on my neck with a proud smile. That's all he had to say before I shot a sharp kick in his shin. Next time, don't mark people just to make a point. I spat at him angrily. Yikes, it looks like you have been attacked by a leech, May snickered. I widened my eyes. Oh my god, really? How bad is it? I cried as I scrambled to get my phone out of my bag. There was a huge angry red mark right over the top of my collarbone. Great, now I'm going to have to cake myself in makeup and wear turtlenecks to cover this up. For more videos, please subscribe this channel. Have a great day, dear ones. Bye.